Somewhere in Delta State, Nigeria, a little girl of about 11 years old was given a cane by her dad, and she was asked to flog me 4 times in a public place where people had gathered and everybody could see me embarrassed. Now, what was my crime on that fateful and memorable day? On our show today, one of my 3 questions would be, to what extent are we supposed to discipline or try to parent the children of other people? I am sure you would have an answer to that question for me. Well, welcome to the first episode of Nikki's Nuggets. I am your host and your best friend, Nicholas Efemena Orerime. On this show, all we do is talk together, learn from one another. I believe that in talking together, we are trying to build a better community.
Let us build community and share one true love. Let us sit and talk together. Yes to love and no to hate. Let us build community and share one true love. Let us sit and talk together. Yes to love and no to hate. Help not hinder, make and not mar. Life's good, live and let's live. What can you do? How far would you go? So we can build a beautiful world. Let us build community and share one true love. Let us sit and talk together. Yes to love and no to hate.
Welcome back. I had a very terrible experience. On this morning, I was going back to meet a friend of mine. He was a priest. The previous week, I gave him some of my books so he could sell for me in his church. What I was going for was to see how many copies have been sold and then take the unsold copies and, of course, take my money and then proceed to another parish and do the same. As I was going to that church, in front of me was a little girl. This girl was holding plantain chips. Actually, she was eating plantain chips as she was walking along. She also had a sachet of water. So it is called pure water. in Nigeria. Little sachet of water. Um, you just bite the edge of it and squeeze it, and that's how you drink it. So she had one as she was enjoying her plantain chips. In front of her was an old woman. That woman should be, if I guess correctly, should be around, say, 70, 75 years of age. She was standing by the road begging people for food or money or whatever could be of help to her. Looks like she was homeless. I don't know. But when this girl got to where this woman was standing, and the woman, was asking her for some of her plantain chips. But looks like this girl was not in the mood of sharing. But the mother was not in the mood of letting go. So she touched the girl and give me plantain now. As soon as this old woman touched that little girl, that girl's reaction drew my attention. In fact, I started to speed up to get to the scene. Hey, kind of like, why did you touch me with this, your dirty, old hand, something like that. As she was doing that, the plantain chips she was holding fell on the ground. She was so mad. So mad. She picked that plantain, threw it on this woman's face. And then the water she had, she squeezed it, splashed it, emptied the sachet on her face. And after that, the trash threw it on her. And then she was warning her, next time, don't touch me with that your dirty hand. That kind of a thing. Now I was closer. I increased my speed. Because I would not see such a thing and just keep going. So I went there, I held that little girl. I was like, how disrespectful can you be? How dare you throw trash on such an old woman? What? No way. This cannot happen. You are so disrespectful. How old are you, by the way? She said she was 11. My God. Well, what? Anyway, I am going to teach you a lesson. As I was asking this girl a question, why did you do this thing? I was trying to scold her. That girl looked at me like, eh! You know how you kind of like tell someone to hold it right there. I'm like, who are you? That girl looked me like up to down. Kind of like how you want to size somebody like, oh, who is this one? After sizing me up, she asked me, what did it concern you? So, waiting concern you just means, what is your business? Ah! I'm so sure. What? I am here scolding you for disrespecting this old woman. You had the audacity to ask me, what was my business? This girl needs to be taught a lesson of her life. So I heard that. I started looking for a cane. There were some bushes around there, so I held her, hold her very well. Follow me. I will teach you today. So I was looking, I couldn't get anything like, but I saw one little stick or small. If they use that stick to hit you 10 times, no impact. No impact. But that was all I could find. So I took that little stick, turned the guy around. I said, I will flog you too for disrespecting this woman and me. Instead of me to go to the church that I was going to, instead of me to mind my business and go my way, no, I decided to be a father of the road. Because what followed after I flogged, excuse me, what followed after I gave that girl two, like 1, 2, you would pity me. After I flogged her 1, 2, and I said, next time you dare not disrespect your elders. Do you hear me? And if you see the way that girl screamed, yeah, daddy, he started shouting. Just now, see tears. I was not getting suppressed. Little did I know that this was happening just 1 block away from my father's compound. As this girl was shouting and hammering, like one would think that I broke her head. She started screaming, shouting, wailing. And then she was running towards her father's compound. The dad was inside. That man was eating. Because when he came out, his hands was full of soup. He just came out like that. Well, I think I understand. That father's instinct. You are in the house, and then you can hear your daughter crying and screaming and shouting. You could perceive that your baby is in danger. Who cares to start washing hands? So I understood why the man came out with his hands full of soup. And as soon as he came out, the girl ran to him and pointed me. That man has been beating me since. That man has been beating me. Now I needed to just come and clear the story before the man. As soon as this girl pointed me, if you see the rage in the eyes of that man, he was not in the mood to hear anything I had to say. He was not even interested. He did not ask the daughter, okay, why was he beating you? No. All he needed was for the daughter to identify who. As soon as that was done, that man, you know how you pounce on somebody, how you clamp down on an enemy. That man helped. The first thing he did was to hold me in my trousers or my pants, whatever, and drag me from the road into his compound or his yard, as the case may be. Kind of like bring him into my territory. He brought me into his compound, pinned me to the wall with that handful of soup. Before I could say, Oga, that's love. God, as soon as I received that slap, my head, I was seeing myself on my street, going back home. before I could say a word, he would give me here. Before I turn, you know how that man was huge, big, muscular. I was just like a little man before him. Obviously, from his breath, I don't know, he was eating. At the same time, there's this, you could smell cigarette or I don't know. He was shouting, he was screaming, spitting on my face, every kind of thing. Now, as this thing was happening, those who were passing by started stopping. Bikes will stop and watch. Those who were inside of their houses, they started coming outside. Just now, crowd has gathered. Now, the worst thing is that he would not let me speak. And me, I already felt overpowered because I can't fight back. Now, as this was happening, the mother came into the picture. What happened? What happened? Because he saw his husband, her husband, sorry, Mola beating me. And now, he told her that this man was beating their daughter. Jeez. That woman started, joined in the beating, was looking for a way to scratch me or something. And as she was doing that, she was saying, hey, this girl that has just been discharged from the hospital. So I got to know later that this girl had been in the hospital for about 2 weeks. So she was just out of the hospital, I think a day before. And I had the audacity to touch this girl. I am a finished man. Now, what made it become a story today was the extent to which this man had to go. He asked the wife, go in there and get my cane. The wife went and brought now a real cane, not like the one small stick I used on the road. A big cane. I was like asking myself, so he had a cane, but for what purpose? I don't know. Now, he asked the daughter, how many times did this man flog you? The girl said 2. Okay. He gave you 2. you, you, you will give him 4. You will give him 4. Ah, if he said, come on, face the wall. I say, yes, sir, yes, sir. Well, at this time, whatever they say, I answer, yes, sir. If the woman says something, yes, ma. If the man says something, yes, sir. Come on, come on. Yes, sir, of course, of course. So I placed my hands on the wall. That little girl was given that care by her dad under his supervision. You see, yeah, give him. This girl that was crying and screaming and said I've been beating her, later said I just flogged her. And now she's having fun. She goes, Twa. The father said, no, harder. 4 times I was flogged. And after that episode, the man heard me, pulled me to himself, and said, next time, you do not touch other people's children. If you want to flog and discipline, go and do so to your own children, not anybody you see on the road. And then he warned me. In fact, after that, he said, now you can get out of my compound. I said, you can go and bring your boys. Go and get, come back with your boys. I am here waiting for you. I am the capo of this area. Whatever capo meant, I don't know. But he was the capo of this area. And he will be waiting when I return with my boys to fight him. In my mind, me, return. In fact, all those books are money I was going to collect. My father will bring them to me. As soon as I turn back from that place, never. Return to where? Do I have any power or strength to fight a man like that? I left disgraced. What was my crime? Just trying to discipline or correct a girl who was not biologically my daughter. You may say, Nick, this man, did not know you. You were a stranger. So it may be, we can justify him for reacting like that. Well, I have gone to a friend's house, and right in my presence, she made breakfast for her son, bread and tea, served the food, and this little boy pushed that food away and threw it on the rug, on the floor. I was sitting down there. I was expecting a spark from the mom. But guess what? Oh, Daddy, you don't like bread and tea? Oh, I should make another thing for you. Oh, what do you want to eat, Daddy? Hi, God. So, Jesus. Huh? I tried to ask the woman, what? You mean your son threw your food on the floor? And you're asking him, Daddy, what do you want? Her response was that It took her 17 years before she conceived that child after marriage. And because of that long years it took her to conceive, now this only child means the whole world. Whatever he asks, he gets. Anything at all. In fact, she calls the boy daddy. This is my friend. And when I tried to say this is not the right way to raise this child, I remember she telling me, please, I beg, don't talk about, go, you have your kids, right? This one, leave it for me. Now, from those experiences, I decided never again would I try to correct or discipline the child of another. In fact, once in my place, I saw one little boy, actually the son of my neighbor, trying to swing with a side mirror of a car. I asked the boy, leave there, you will spoil the mirror. He wouldn't budge. As I was trying to go and hit the child, I remember, I'm like, Nick. So that slap, that slap they gave you that time, it's not enough for you. You want to go again? I withdraw. From then, I started to feel that it was wrong of me to try to parent or try to tell another parent how to raise his or her child. So, I thought we should talk about this. What is your opinion on this issue? I have 3 questions actually. Like I asked in the beginning, to what extent are we supposed to parent or discipline the children of other people? My second question would be, if you were in my shoes on that day, seeing a little girl, disrespect an old woman in that manner, what would you have done differently? Number 3, I have been meaning to ask this question for a long time. What is the relationship between how long it took to conceive a child and how that child should be raised? You may answer 1 or 2, or maybe all the 3 questions I have asked. The intention for this is, let us talk about these things. What you say, your comment, might just be what another parent needs to hear. What we are talking about, you may probably have experienced the same thing. You may have tried to do this for either a stranger and you did not get the reaction you expected. What if you have had a similar experience? Share with us. If you have not, or you are a parent, what do you think would be the appropriate thing to do when you see children of other persons misbehave outside. What you say, the comments you give to me, you talk to me, like share your opinion with, I need that comment of yours. It will go a long way to talk to me and maybe somebody else, because we are trying to build community. How can we build a better community? Hello, if you have enjoyed this first episode, please kindly comment on this video. I need your comments. I need you to subscribe, to like, to share. And you can follow me on my Facebook and Instagram page at Nikki's Nuggets. I will be very, very honored. Thank you so much. Let us build community.